Greetings, comrades. My name is Gigantos, and as you can see from the title of this video, the hate train has arrived. And for those who don't know what I'm referring to, it relates to my video from last week, which I believe it was last week, which basically says I'm expecting a lot of hate coming. And the reason why is because of a series of posts I'm doing on my Facebook page, Gigantian Apologetics. So what happened was, and I might as well just repeat it, what happened anyway. Basically, in some of my groups, there's a picture from a publication known as the Fatima Crusader, and in it, it claims to show support that communion on the tongue is an apostolic tradition. However, what it actually is showing is a condemnation of communion in the hand as sacrilegious and a crime worthy of excommunication. It doesn't actually show anything about communion in the hand. Communion on the tongue is apostolic. And so what I was doing was I decided to counter this piece of misinformation effectively. So I took the picture of this publication, and I broke it down into a number of posts in which I directly refuted each of the points made on it. And I said that they were either out of context, like Saint Aquinas's or Saint Basil the Great's. They took their words out of context. It was unrelated, such as Pope Saint Sixtus I, and the Council of Trent. One says that we are not allowed to touch the sacred vessels, and the other says that we believe that the host is the full body, blood, soul, and divinity of Christ, which we don't deny, but that has nothing to do with the reception of communion on the tongue. And the final category was completely falsified. Well, information that was completely falsified. And this included the apparent excommunication of people who received communion in the hand, apparently according to the Second Council of Constantinople, and not the Synod of Rouen, the Council of Saragossa, which such excommunications never occurred. Now, you'd think that I'd get a lot of love and gratitude for refuting this poor information, but instead, a lot of the radtrads have come out now and are busy attacking me, calling me a heretic, and sometimes even blocking people. Thanks, Plane. Even blocking people who share my posts in their groups, which is really stupid, because all I'm doing, let me make myself clear. I have nothing against you if you want to receive communion on the hand or on the tongue. I've got nothing against that. But if you're going to try and say that communion in the hand is demonic or sacrilegious, perhaps you shouldn't be using sources or references that either don't exist or are out of context or are unrelated, because it's all about the moral way of arguing with someone. If you have sources that support your case but are questionable in their authenticity, or if they're related or not, then you probably shouldn't be using them. But it goes to show that these radtrads only really care about quantity of information and not quality. So I'm getting a lot of hate for that. Although in a number of groups, a lot of the admins and moderators are helping keep an eye on the arguments and making sure that they are toned down, and some coming to my defense. And there are other people who are saying, thank you for refuting this information. It's not right that people are pushing forward false information. It's not moral. So I thank all of you out there for your support. The second thing I wanted to talk about relates to another big fire. And so what happened was, actually this happened late last week, but basically I was sitting down to lunch with my family, and my father looked outside and he noticed on the pavement outside there was this weird yellow glow. And it turned out that there was actually a huge fire in a nearby heathland. And basically the smoke plume was huge. I'm not sure if it could be seen from space, but it was absolutely huge, and it covered many miles. And what happened was there was basically a ton of smoke in the air, which, the way the sun was shining through the smoke cloud, made the area have a slightly yellow tint to it. And it also resulted in a yellow glow. And this lasted for maybe an hour until the wind changed direction, and people over London were getting it instead. I'm just changing hand, my arm's getting cramping. Although London itself was having its own problems with a number of fires going around there too. I can't say the UK ever really has a problem with wildfires. Sometimes Heathland goes up in flames, but it's never really been something like the Californian wildfires or anything like that. So, again, a reminder to all everyone else in the UK: make sure that you do stay hydrated because it's still quite warm weather. Um, all of you out there who are dealing with fires, thank you for your service and God bless you in your continued battle. And hopefully, this, as strange as it may sound, hopefully this warm weather does pass by its more warmest period and becomes a bit more humid, so that any fires do become lessened in their severity. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you for all of your support out there, uh, despite the hate train arriving, and hopefully the wildfires and fires everywhere do begin weakening or conditions change so that they never occur, so that they don't occur for the rest of the year. So otherwise, have a good weekend, all of you. God bless you all. See you in the next video, comrades. Until then.